Greetings, everybody, and greetings to you all. Not hey, not what's up. It's greetings this evening, Friday night. It's your boy, Sundin Esperance. You know, I know you haven't seen me in a good while. You probably miss me and such, but as you can see, I had to get cleaned up. So, today, it's episode 21 of the I Thrive podcast. I have my brother and some sisters of mine from Truth. See, there's more than one of me, eh? We're gonna be, discussing the difficulties we face having a business and being in truth, because for us being in the truth of God, it's tough teaching. It's not easy at all. I mean, I believe Brother Tyshonn has been in it for a good while now. So we can't just do business however way, right? So maybe somebody has, hey, there's this business tip we have. It's a makeup company, man. It sells $30,000 a day. Man, we can't even get a penny from that makeup company, right? So we're gonna be discussing it. I have today with me, Sister Monique Harmon. She's a big wordy social media social media strategist. Never heard of it, but we're gonna find out more today for certain. I also have Sister Merlene. She owns a bookkeeping company, and Brother Tyshonn and his wife, Sister Danielle, who are financial service agents. And then, you probably see me post her once or twice or maybe 10 times on my Instagram, the owner of Perfect Blends, who specializes in gourmet sauces. So each and every one, they have their story to tell. So, we'll start with maybe Brother Tyshonn. We'll start with you and your wife. So explain to us a bit what a financial service agent does.
Well, we are financial service agent. A lot of people kind of get it confused with financial planner or similar to that. But we basically specialize in life insurance. But we also deal with investments and 401ks and so forth and so on. So that's why I say, financial agent, but we specialize in insurance and secondary and investments. So we represent a company by the name of Primerica Financial Services, which is based out of Atlanta. And me and my wife been doing this for roughly over maybe since 2005.
Oh,
2005. So we've been in it for a long time. We love it because we love to help families, get their, financial business on track, and even if they have it on track, we just try to enhance it a little bit more with saving and investing and making sure that they're properly protected
perfect.
with insurance.
Why did you and your wife have the desire to become financial service agents?
Well, one, like I said, we like to help people.
Okay.
And also there's not a lot of we have a lot of different occupations in our family. We may have doctors, we have lawyers, police officers, military, warehouse workers and so forth and so on. But we most likely we don't never have that financial person. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to that. Not to say that there's not any out there, but it's not really spoken highly of like financial people, insurance people. Because normally, because we're African American, when we normally talk to an insurance guy, they're normally white. White, saying insurance guy or financial guy is normally white.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I see and if I see a person that looks like me that's actually talk about money, I'm like, wow, that kind of like took me for a loop, you know what I mean? So, and it intrigued me, and I've always been in like the investment realm. I love to invest in the stock market and stuff like that. So I get a chance to actually help people enhance their finances and also actually be protected, in reference to life insurance, because life insurance is very important.
Absolutely.
We have insurance on our cars, we have insurance on our cell phones. Those can be replaced. but your life, you can't replace that.
No, sir.
So if you have a family and, unfortunately somebody passes away, then what happens to that family's financial status?
Exactly.
It cuts in half
Yeah.
instantly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure, you cover that other half. So that's one of the things that, and we, me and my wife really take that to heart because, we have 6 children of our own.
Hey.
And yeah. And so, if God forbid, if anything was to happen to myself or my wife, we want to make sure that,
They're
the
covered.
other is covered.
Absolutely.
So we don't
Absolutely.
have to worry about anybody. We don't have to worry about the lights getting turned off. Food won't be in the refrigerator or won't be living out in the street. And that's what we love to do for families.
Okay, that's wonderful. It's always good because I'm always intrigued to know why people get in a specific domain of things. Because sometimes, especially when it comes to finances, it's rare to be spoken about amongst African American families. But I think
Absolutely.
being more encouraged today with this generation. So applauding on that. And actually, during this pandemic, I was actually talking about how I started to kind of look into stocks a bit more. Because I want to create a form of passive income for myself. So we'll definitely keep in touch and talk more about that. Now, go on next on the list. We'll go with Sister Merlene because she has a mean mug face. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know. My days, I don't know what's going on. So we'll let her go. Maybe she's in a rush to go. I don't know. How you doing, Sister Merlene? How you doing?
After that comment, I'm doing well.
So, Sister Merlene, what is it that you do a bit?
Yeah, so I provide bookkeeping. Pretty much, bookkeeping is simply record keeping of financial transactions. That's really what it is. So income and expenses of anybody's company, anybody's individual income that you have coming in, whether it's a big or small company. At the end of the day, every company should have some type of record keeping system that they use in order to keep track of their finances. And so that's where I come.
So what made you want to become a bookkeeper?
The reality was I just wanted to be able to create a business, and honestly this was the easiest one to be able to create. Like the overhead cost was pretty much nothing.
Okay, I see.
It was pretty much nothing to create this. And so it's very easy to learn, it's very easy to do, it's very easy to, especially nowadays, it's very easy to be able to advertise that virtually without having to spend a lot of money on advertising and marketing. So I figured if this one takes off, then it'd be, a good opportunity to be able to venture into other opportunities.
Okay, perfect. It's wonderful to hear. We're gonna go with sister, the social media strategist, guys. She has me confusing with my tongue saying these big strategist words, right? So let's talk to the social media strategist, Sister Monique Harmon. Go ahead, sister.
Hi. Okay, so let me break it down really quick. So, social media strategist is basically a fancy term for helping, businesses or people basically showcase their talents and um, their skills online. And so, I specifically help small businesses get visibility, like for their clients and their potential customers, so that they can actually connect with their customers and clients. And so um, people don't really know that, like, by sharing their own story and, different things that they do day to day actually enhances that know, like, and trust factor. And so I help small businesses see that. And some entrepreneurs actually want me to do it for them rather than teach them how to do that. So I also offer those services as well.
Okay. What made you? Because that I'm growing up, I've never. You hear about doctor, lawyer, and into entrepreneurship. You maybe hear of a business owner here and there, but social media strategists was unheard of. So, what made you want to follow that aspect and help people on social media?
So it's a very interesting story. Of course, I have a journalism background, and so I was already trained in telling stories like that are captivating, and just helping people connect with the community and stuff like that. And so because I don't drive normally, it would have been hard for me to be like a freelancer or like a type of journalist where I'm just like driving to the station or driving to catch the next story. So I was like thinking quick, I was like, I need a way that I can make income like from home, or if I, have the chance to travel somewhere, or be able to go to my church and be able to work, from anywhere. And so that's why I definitely dove into it. I actually started maintaining the social media for my church. And that was really where I fell in love with it. Just covering different events and like just, telling the story and, making people be like, wow, I wish I was really there in the church service. So that's how I got into it. A lot of people don't know that below the surface of social media, below all of the selfies that everyone takes, are people like me that are really out there, like writing different captions and connecting photos and like really telling the story of entrepreneurs so that they are able to get sales. People are making passive income off of Instagram. People are collaborating with millionaires on Facebook. And so I definitely just dove into it, and I went beyond just being a regular virtual assistant, just posting for these companies. And they come to me and they're like, Monique, what do you think we should do with this? Like they might come with a webinar idea that they might want to do, but they're not really sure how to go about it. And so I talk to them about it, because like I'm a sponge for knowledge. So like I just give them what they need to do. And I also tie in a social media launch plan. So like people don't just build up a class or they just build up a webinar and no one attends. Like we really have to, build up that anticipation for it so that they can see conversions.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. I mean, you seem to be very passionate about it, and it's always intriguing to help others. I have a tough question for you, maybe a tough one, but older generations, they don't know nothing about social media. Most of them, when it comes to social media, it's like they're zero. They probably know how to just dial a number and call somebody else. So is there ways you can help someone who has a business but who's much older and not from the social media generation? And if so, how do you help somebody like that?
Okay, so I think like me personally, I haven't really worked with the older generation or any older businesses, but what I would, stress to them, and any entrepreneur out there that's listening, is that you need to build an email list. Like, building up a social media presence is good. It's all well and good, but Instagram can shut down tomorrow. Facebook can crash like out of nowhere. And if you're so used to just posting every day, and like, what are you going to do? What are your followers going to do? Is business just going to stop because you couldn't post on Facebook or Twitter? And so I teach entrepreneurs that it's important to also build up an email list. Like, social media, I actually learned this from another entrepreneur, is pretty much the handshake. It's meeting, it's connecting, it's saying hi to your potential followers or clients and customers. But you want to give them some sort of link or some way to get off of the app and onto your email list. So that way, whenever you have something that you want to say, you can just send it to their inbox. Like, whoever or whatever email service provider that you decide to use isn't going to be like, oh, we're going to just show it to like 10% of your audience. No, they're going to send it out to your entire list. And of course, there is the chance that some emails can fall in the spam box, but there are ways around that. And so definitely building up, an audience on a place, real estate that you can actually control, is going to be a lot better than just building on social media alone.
Perfect. That's wonderful. Got a couple more questions for you after, but we're gonna go to Miss Perfect Blends, the maker of gourmet sauces. Go ahead, sister, and tell us a bit about what Perfect Blends is about.
All right. Hello, everyone. Perfect Blends pretty much is how I specialize in gourmet sauces. So I'm originally from Haiti. So in Haiti, we have a traditional blend of herbs and spices that we tend to put together so we can flavor our meals. So that's pretty much what I started to do. I learned it as a child from my grandmother, and as an adult, I incorporated that into my everyday meals for my family. And then I had a few friends that really loved the actual blend of the spices. And they pretty much said, you know what, this would be great in a jar and if you could sell it. So I just started making, sharing some of my sauces with some friends and family. And it just turned out to be a really great business. I really enjoy it because I get to do something that's fun, very creative, and very traditional. And I get to share, a taste of my country, a taste of where I'm from and how we cook. So that's pretty much what Perfect Blends is all about. A blend of fresh herbs and spices all mixed up in a jar to flavor up your meals.
So pretty much to sum it up, you are pretty much the doctor to those who don't know about seasoning with their dry with their dry food elsewhere. So look,
Yes,
those of
yes.
you that have them dry chickens, look, here's the Perfect Blends doctor, a surgeon, or whatever you could call it, pediatrician, because it helps your kids too. No more
Yes,
dry chicken.
our sauces will add great flavor to your dishes. Anything that's bland, our sauces will definitely waken up and add some spice and some just great flavoring to any dish.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. All in each and one every one of you, one thing I can see from what you do, you're passionate about what you do and you could enjoy what you do. So those of you watching, it's good to have a business. It's good to be an entrepreneur. It's good to, excel, but the teachings we're in, it's a very it's a difficult teachings. It's you have to follow it all the way through. It's not easy at all times, but we're not no First Church is not no next church out there. You probably seen TD Jakes and Creflo Dollar, Joel Osteen do their thing and whatnot. But our leader, Gino Jennings, this is a serious man of God, and he preaches nowhere but from the scriptures. And everywhere we go, we have to follow the scriptures. So I want to ask each and every one of you, we can start, going back to Brother Tyshonn. What are some of the difficulties that you do face being an entrepreneur in truth? Or what are some of the difficulties that you may face or that could be faced? Because also, like, there may be difficulties all of you may not face right now, but maybe somebody in truth who do go after your domain, or somebody just out there in the world who are in your domain never knew about these difficulties they can face. So please enlighten myself, enlighten everyone here, and enlighten the rest that'll be listening on the difficulties you face as an entrepreneur in truth. Brother Tyshonn, starting with you. You're muted, brother. You're muted. This is one of the old, not this generation type of guys,
Oh, sorry about that. Well, I've been following Pastor Jennings since '99. So I've been under his teaching as a young man. So you talk about maybe 21 years. I'm 48 now.
I couldn't tell.
Oh, appreciate it, bro. I try to tighten up a little bit too, but
I feel you.
But being young, following this truth, it was and still is hard, but it's not impossible. And one thing about being an entrepreneur, you definitely can't be in love with money. We need money, but you can't be in love with it. Because if like the scriptures say, the love of money is the root of all evil.
Exactly.
So a lot of people misquote it and say money is the root of all evil. Yeah. But the love of money is the root of all evil. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's because if you just focus on that money, you know, then you are willing to do anything and everything to get it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the things that I hold fast. If I have it, I have it. If I don't, I don't. That's just how I was raised, and just, you know, especially coming from where I come from, you know, from the hood, this, that, and the other. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
But being an entrepreneur, yeah, you want to make money, you want to make passive income and this and the other, but you definitely, especially in my business, you know, in financial services, because we are licensed by the state and the federal government. You know what I'm saying? So I got to be very transparent. I got to be very honest. I got to have morals in reference to when I'm handling people's money, handling people's sensitive information, and not doing it or handling it wrong. I can lose my license. Me and my wife can lose our license, or worse, go to prison. And I don't do prison well.
I could not stay in prison. I couldn't. The first day I would go crazy.
Man, no sir.
Go
so
crazy in there, bro.
Yeah, bro. So I mean, you know, I strive to, you know, hold fast to the scriptures.
Yep.
And like I said, I didn't come from a background of church. You know what I mean? So when I, you know, when I first came to Pastor Jenner's church, I was just amazed of seeing how many men that was in.
Yeah, like
the
everybody.
brothers. I mean, the brothers. I was just amazed because most of the churches that I've been to,
It's
most are all women.
Exactly.
So I'm like, wow, they look all these, and it was young brothers that kind of got me really amazed too. I was like, wow. I was like, man, you know, so, and then especially what he's teaching, you know, is just second to none because it's basically coming from the scripture. So I mean, listen, I ain't going nowhere. There's nowhere else to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
and it's a good mentality to have, you know, and it's especially the fact that you've been in it since '99. That's a good while. You know what I'm saying? That's a good long time. Because, you know, some people are in it for like 30 days and, you know, they're ready to go a different direction. But something you said, you know, so profound is that, you know, you can't be in love with money. But now, you know, to somebody asking, well, then, Brother Tyshonn, what's the point of becoming an entrepreneur if I can't be in love with money? Because if it's not about the money, then what's the point of doing all of this?
Well,
right?
I look at it like this. When you do things from the heart, money will follow.
Yeah.
The money will follow. If you're doing things right. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got people that are doing things wrong and money follow too. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't always end well.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, so the greatest success is when you obey the scriptures. Yeah. That's the greatest success. You know, and you keep God first. And that's what our leader teaches us. We keep God first in everything that we do. You know what I'm saying? And he'll bless us. You know what I mean? So if we got to trust and believe that he's going to bless us. So like I said, even, you know, you become an entrepreneur, you become an entrepreneur because you want to be, not so much be a boss where you boss other people, you know what I'm saying? But you may not just want to work for somebody. You know what I mean? You want to be able to call your own shots. You want to be able to, you know, come and go as you please. You know, but even being an entrepreneur, you still have to put in that work. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not like it's just gonna, you know, the success is gonna knock on your door, you just gonna answer it and it's gonna be right there. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, you become an entrepreneur, yeah, you want to make money. I mean, yeah, we all want to make money. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, you still got to do things the right way.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just, you know, oh, well, I'm just doing it for the money. You know what I'm saying? This and the other, because you're so in love with the money, then you're rather to cut corners. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You
pretty much contradict scripture.
Exactly.
Pretty much, and to get that money.
Scripture and this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Like I can own a trucking company and somebody's going to pay me $100 million to deliver beer. If I'm in truth,
You have to let that go. You go listen,
and they got the check right there, and it's certified, and it's good.
Right,
you know. So it's like, you put away in the balance, but and somebody that may not be as strong in the faith, maybe like, you know what, I'm gonna just take that money and run. But but we all know the consequences.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And everybody else, feel free to just add in your input, in terms of the difficulties you face as an entrepreneur in the Truth of God in First Church as well. So I don't know if Sister Mo, if you wanted to begin, but the rest of you feel free. You don't have to be muted. You can add your input in here. Just want to have a nice conversational thing to get a bit back and forth and differences between what you each face from your business and, as a business person in the Truth of God. So I don't know if Sister Mo, if you wanted to maybe, get started, and the rest of you, if you have any input, just, go ahead and talk.
Okay. Oh, this is the Oh, okay. Yeah, so like definitely to go off what Brother Tyshonn was saying, like, just making sure that we stay like in the confines of the scriptures, because I know for me personally, like, we be hearing some stories about, how saints like don't, conduct themselves well on social media, like some of them. And I'm like, like in the back of my mind, I'm like, when is the pastor gonna like pull the plug and be like, no social media for nobody? There goes my business. I'll be like, I'll just be offering like copywriting services. I'll be like, I'll write your emails for you, but I can't touch social media.
Social media.
Yeah, I just be so nervous about that. But for me in particular, I think, I stand out kind of like a sore thumb because, I'm in holiness, and it's like I can't participate in all types of marketing aspects because, I see even people that aren't well-seasoned marketers, but, they might be celebrities and they might be like, oh, this movie just came out, just, click the link in my bio, and you go to the link in the bio and it's not what they're talking about. It's like, oh, this is why you should vote instead. So it's like, well, I can't lie to do that. I have to find different ways to, surprise people and stuff like of that nature. But also like, even with like viral marketing strategies, for example, a lot of people think that TikTok is like, just people dancing and stuff like that. But no, entrepreneurs are actually using TikTok to, get more leads and get clients and get customers and things of that nature. And so they're able to go viral in that way. But I'm like, if I want to make a TikTok video, like I can't put no, worldly music in there. I can't be dancing and shaking myself, on camera. I have to, make sure I find a gospel song and, make sure I'm, just normal, just giving tips and things like that. So that can kind of be a struggle sometimes because I'm not gonna lie, I still like some worldly music, but I've been praying and making sure that I don't listen to that type of music and stuff like that. And also like one of my clients is a travel expert, and so I told her like when we first started working together that I can't be posting anybody in bathing suits. I can't be posting and be like, hey, go to Negril, Jamaica, where you can like drink at a bar and you can, do anything that's like against the scriptures. And, thankfully she's really understanding. It was like, just let me know, like whatever you can't do. And then, you don't have to worry about it basically. So I just pretty much post about different facts and stuff about different countries, and post food and stuff like that. So it does get kind of hard, and you get kind of nervous because you're like, well, am I going to get paid or not? Like I have to like send them like this whole like rap sheet of things that I can't post or things that I can't like help with.
Just send them BJ. Just send them the video PJ. They don't understand right away.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes. So those are definitely like some of the struggles that I encounter. But another thing that I also come into contact with is like, I guess maybe not being seen as credible by some demographics because of, my skin, obviously, a lot of people of color go through that, but then it's like it's another layer because now I'm like religious or I'm / spiritual, and so people may not be like, running to me like to throw their credit cards or their money at me. They may go to somebody else, but I think it's an opportunity still to like be able to bring my own unique perspective and just be confident in my beliefs and be like, you know, you're not coming to me because of my beliefs. You're coming to me because I'm going to get your results.
Your
And
results,
so,
exactly.
yeah. So, you know, that's pretty much some of the things that I encounter.
So pretty much with that last point you're saying, it's like already they're gonna be looking at the list and saying, "Man, she's black." Okay, well, I think we can deal with that. Wait, hold on a second. She's under the teachings of Geno Jennings. I think that's about too much now, you know. But now in terms of, you know, with all of that together, you feel like you're scared that they won't even consider you just because of those two main things, especially being in America. You know, I know that's how it is and everything. But the thing is, for you, a question I have, it's like, you know, because you know our generation, the social media today, it's hectic. You know, like 12-year-olds, 11, the stuff that maybe I found out maybe when I was like 15, 16, 17, they know it all and it's all exposed to them and everything. And all these businesses today, you know, a lot of it that makes most money, you know, or that can make you probably most money as a social media strategist. How do you deal, you know, with that in terms of seeing, you know what, here's where pretty much all the money I can make, but I'm just going to obey the scriptures instead. Is that something you find, you know, you struggle with on a regular basis? Does it, bother you time to time? It never bothers you. How do you, you know, handle that?
Yeah, so I mean, sometimes it does kind of make me annoyed or like irritated at how somebody can just like, you know, show pretty much all of their skin and just get like all these likes and get all these follows and get all these deals and stuff. And I'm like, you know, I'm just trying to like, you know, obey the scriptures and obviously obey God because I don't want God to get me.
Yeah.
So I mean that's motivation enough for me, like to just make sure I'm, you know, doing whatever I'm supposed to be doing because I don't want to be like that anyway. Like I actually want to work, you know, to be able to, you know, get clients, get customers, or help them get clients and customers like in the right way, in a way that's decent, because I just don't want to be like, you know, some of these influencers out here that are just like running loose and, you know, just taking anything, or just, you know, just not being honest or not doing or being respectful online or whatever, just to make a buck. So sometimes it is a little troublesome to see that, but I'll just like, you know, if I just keep doing what I'm doing, I have a system that works. And so the right people will be drawn to me in that way. And it's a good thing to niche down as well, because I don't want to be right for everybody. You know, I want to be right for a certain, you know, type of niche that people are going to come to me and trust me to lead them. So
Perfect.
that's good.
That's wonderful, wonderful. And how should I say, surgeon, perfect blend surgeon, you know, or surgeon or doctor, you know, helping with a dry chicken. You know, people don't have to, you don't have to go through just salt and pepper now anymore. There's perfect blends. Come on now, come on. What are some
Sprinkle of salt and pepper
well,
here.
no sprinkling salt and pepper. You could take that and just smack it on there and then get yourself finger licking good food. Now, finger licking good food.
That is correct.
But
That
in
is
terms of yourself,
Amen.
Sister Tamara, what are some difficulties you find that you face, you know, being in the business you're in, you know, as an entrepreneur in truth?
Well, one of the main things that I bumped into, I've bumped into a couple, especially dealing with the food industry. The main one that still to this day kind of, it's just all around me. And I constantly have to say no and I have to be aggressive and assertive and stand, you know, on what I believe is because I make these sauces. I pretty much, a lot of wineries are interested in my sauces. So I've been approached by very popular wineries in New York City. Like I said before, I do a lot of events. So my sauces go very well with cured meats and fancy cheeses and wines and certain specialty drinks. So I was invited to an artisanal food festival, and that pretty much had a lot of different artisanal makers pretty much specialized makers that made like specialized dishes and drinks and certain breads and just really fancy quality products that you don't find everywhere. So I was invited to this event, and there were a lot of wineries there, very high end, extremely expensive stuff. So I was approached, by a couple of these owners, and they just loved the sauces, and they really wanted to do business with me, pretty much buy my sauces. And when they have wine tasting, when they would have large events in their winery or their vineyards, they would have my sauces pair my sauces with their bread, the cheese, and their wine. So this was maybe about 4 years ago. And they approached me, and they asked me, if I would be interested, and I told them I'll get back to them. So I spoke to my husband about it and a couple of friends and family. And obviously I had people that were like, go for it. Yes. You'll do well. And why not? And I'm like, well, you guys know I don't drink, and so on and so forth. So I decided to ask our pastor. I went to Pastor Jennings twice. I went to him the first time. Unfortunately, he was busy. He was a little bit busy running off somewhere, but he said he'll think about it. I explained to him that, I am a business owner. I make these special sauces, and wineries are very interested. And can I do business with a winery? I'll just be providing my sauces to them, but I wouldn't be participating in their events or anything like that. So he said he'll get back to me. So I waited a couple of weeks, a couple of months. I finally touched base with him again, and he didn't give me an answer. So with that being said, I had to search for myself, and I'm like, Lord, direct me, because I want to be right. I want to do things accordingly. And I just felt like, you know what, don't do it. So I told them that I was not interested, and I explained to them, that I don't drink, and due to my faith, unfortunately, I can't do business with them. Mm-hmm. So with me saying no to them, for some reason, all the wineries started emailing me. Just wineries after wineries, to the extent where I got an invite to what is this big Academy Award? Oh my goodness, what is this Academy Award called? The Emmys? It's not the Emmys. What is the biggest one? I don't know. One of the biggest Academy. I'm sorry.
The Oscars.
The Oscars. Yes.
I think she knew. She just wanted somebody to say it.
The Oscars. Wasn't the Emmys.
Come on now. What was
someone from their marketing or food, whoever does the ordering of the food, when all these superstars are in backstage. Somehow this person got my email. I think it's because I went to an event, a really fancy event, and they must have been there. They must have tried the sauces, and they must have went back to work and told whoever's in charge. Whoever's in charge of we heard great things about your sauces. You appeared at such and such event, and we were wondering if you would be interested in supplying us with your sauces. So I didn't know how to say no, guys. It was a struggle. Mm-hmm. I really had to find it in myself and say, you know what? Unfortunately, I will have to decline the offer. I thank you and I'm grateful, but I cannot I am unable to do business with you guys at the moment, and so on and so forth. So with that being said, I bumped into a couple of those challenges where, it looks good, it sounds good, and it would be a great experience for me. But unfortunately, I want to be right. So with that being said, just running a business, you have to be able to run your business with it in honesty, pure honesty. Do your best to be honest with your customers, your clientele, due to what you believe in. Having, some moral help, whether you're in faith or not, or you believe or not. People should definitely have some level of moral values and standards, so they're not taking advantage of who they servicing. And unfortunately, we bump into a lot of that when people are doing business, and sometimes people in church are doing business. They just believe that it's two separate things, that they could do their business however they want. It's just a way of them taking care of their family. God, if God bless them with the business, it's okay for them to run their business. However, as long as they're taking care of their home, they're taking care of their business, and people tend to think that way. Unfortunately, that is, not the right way. You should definitely be honest with, what you're doing, and have some level of standards, and pretty much standing up for what you believe.
No, because the thing is, I think a lot of the times where people probably get shocked, and surprised and hear people of faith and say, "Oh, I can't do this," is because, you have people in falsehood, where people in the world, they don't really know it's falsehood, but people who claim they are believers, they believe in Jesus Christ, and they believe in this, they believe in God. And when there's a business opportunity placed in front of them, and sometimes the sinner's just testing you out, say, all right, Mr. Holy Man, all right, Sister Holy Woman, we're going to see how holy you are.
Very
here
true.
it is. I have something in front of you. And they say, oh, yeah, for sure, I can take that. But I thought you said you go to church. Man, God's a forgiver. Don't worry about that. We could do this. I think that's what sometimes confuses people, because they expect every single person who desires to follow Christ to be the same. And so I think that's where, a lot of them say, well, Sister Demara, you say you can't accept this, but another so-and-so Christian, they can accept it, So, I mean, in terms of these challenges, it's very tough. Some of you probably are looking at it.
Yeah, I agree. And I also...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying, I agree that, people in faith, they view running a business totally different from others. Some just believe that, some believe that pretty much if God blessed them with it, they should be able to run it however they want, and they should be able to do business with whoever they want, and it's not necessarily the right way to do business. Now, I did want to mention a few situations that I bumped into starting my business was pretty much getting my credentials. So, a lot of family and friends, I really wanted to pretty much follow the law of the land and get my licensing and my permit pretty much to get a kitchen as to where I can make my sauces. I needed to do it in a whatchamacallit, oh my gosh, what is this called? In a professional kitchen, pretty much. So I couldn't do my sauces from home. So I had to rent out a specific space to run the kitchen, to run my sauces and to make the sauces. Okay, yeah. So with that being said, a lot of people were like, well, why don't you just do it from home?
Yeah.
So I would love to do that. I would love to do that, obviously, out of the convenience of my home. And I tried. I do have the space, whether it's in my kitchen or I could have made the extra space, but due to certain codes and certain laws within my community, unfortunately, I was unable to do that. So I had to rent a commercial kitchen. So a lot of people were stating that they don't need to know. You could just make the sauces at home.
You're going to have those ones,
Yes.
That's doing this. You better stop.
Exactly. So in the beginning stages, listen, in the beginning stages, for someone who's starting off, who doesn't even know whether their business is going to take off, I don't recommend you going out and renting out a commercial kitchen. I don't think that's smart.
How much does it cost to rent a commercial kitchen, by the way? Like per hour? They go per hour, I presume, over there, no?
They go per hour. The cheapest is $20 an hour.
Oh, so that's
the highest is like 60, depending on how fancy the kitchen is. All the amenities that it provides. Whether you have a refrigerator, extra storage where you can keep your stuff, so you don't have to go back and forth with it. So you don't have to take your stuff home, bring it back, and so on. So it depends. There's some really fancy kitchens out there that can be very pricey. Okay. depending on what you make and what you need. So, you know, I don't, like I was saying, I don't recommend people, you know, if you're starting off and you're baking and you're making a few cupcakes here and there for family and friends, and you make cakes or so on, maybe, you know, you should look into that, but because you shouldn't just get too comfortable doing business at home if they are pertaining to your state as to the business that you're running. So you know, I bumped into that where I'm like, okay, it's easy. They don't need to know, you know, it's easy. I can just stay home. Exactly. Especially when I did, you know, look into having them come and check out my kitchen and see if I can actually work from home. But when they turned me down, it was a bummer. I felt really bad. And at the time I really didn't have the money to rent a commercial kitchen. So that was just a struggle where I felt like, oh my God, how am I gonna, you know, how am I going to afford to move forward and get a rental kitchen? And I want to be in compliance with the state. And I want to be on, you know, I want to be doing things accordingly also. So I just really prayed about it. And maybe in about a year, I was able to, you know, make enough money. I was able to build enough clientele. I started going to certain events, and also being honest with some of my customers, letting them know that, you know, some of them did ask me, where are you making your sauces? And I'm like, as much as I want to say, you know, I make my sauces at Shuts and Shuts Kitchen, that would be a big fat lie. So I had to say, you know what, right now I'm still looking for a kitchen. I'm doing it from home. I just hope that, you know, I can, you know, make enough money so I can be able to start making things in
the States, you know, is the laws for like every single, you know, thing you're going to do. So say, for example, there's someone who wants to bake a cake. Do those laws, like, would they be able to do it from home, or would they have to go to a kitchen as well?
Depending, yes, I guess certain states, yes, when it comes to baking, because when it comes to baking, I think most states are okay with it. I think it's just a matter of when this baker starts making a certain amount of money, and they start making a certain amount of getting a certain amount of orders, that's when they need to start kind of moving out of their home and renting out a space. But because of me, I make sauces, and they considered perishables. So, and there's a possibility where, you know, my sauces can rot, or can spoil right away. So the state regulations are that you can't make something that can be hazardous to people's health, especially if someone leaves the ippies on a table and forget, and it builds mold. I can be held accountable for that, because they didn't properly store their sauce. So they don't want me making these in my home, because they feel like it needs to be done in a professional place where once it's done, it's put into a refrigerator where no one's, tampering with it.
Yeah.
So that's.
Do you have to pay to put it in the refrigerator, or it could just stay in there?
It can, depending on the kitchen. Wow. So some kitchens will charge you because they have some kitchens will charge you extra for storage, for you to just keep your stuff there. And some kitchens will charge you just for you to use the kitchen just for the day. And then you have to take all your stuff after you make your sauces, make your product, whatever, you have to pack it and then take it home or take it wherever you're planning on selling it.
Wow, that is tough. That can make anybody just kind of see them $20 an hour, $30 an hour, $60 an hour, want to rack up and say, let me just do this at home. It's gonna be free. Wow, that's not an easy challenge to face at all. You know, because you always, it's like one of the key elements in business is, you know, I mean, you try to spend as much less money as you possibly can. Yeah. Whatever it is you could spend less on, why not? But now you got a scripture to follow. So it's a different story, you know. But wow. We're gonna go ahead to Sister Merlene. You know, I don't want her to run away. I'm tired of seeing. So we're gonna let her go. Go ahead, Sarah Merlin. Go ahead.
Definitely. Thank you, Brother Sundin.
So what are the difficulties you face as a bookkeeper? So you said you could get into like, affairs and, see finances of companies. So what are the difficulties you face?
Yeah, so the good thing about bookkeeping, like Sister Mo had mentioned earlier, is that you can niche down. And what that means is basically I can decide who I want to work with.
Okay.
So for example, I've decided I want to work with like daycare providers, whether they're working in home or they're working in a center, right? Or like working with people who would do real estate, because what harm, I guess, is there in real estate, right? In terms of you're just showing people houses or buildings or commercial buildings and things like that. So I don't, so hopefully you don't really foresee anything that can go wrong with that as far as like violating scripture. And then like another like type of group would be like working with someone like Sister Tamara, who specializes in gourmet sauces, right? So I definitely, like, prior to starting this business, I definitely sat down and was like writing a whole bunch of like different businesses I definitely did not want to partner with. So one of them being like hair salons, even like the male salons, because sometimes, they have like, the women's salon in the back where they're doing, the braiding and all that nonsense. Obviously nail salons, right? What else? Anybody who's selling beauty or like Mary Kay or whatever.
Strip clubs.
Say that again? Yeah.
Is it strip clubs?
Exactly, strip clubs. So, which, wasn't on the list because that was definitely a no-no, but there's a lot of businesses that I said, I just definitely won't even like bother like approaching or, making content for them in a sense. Obviously if they called, I just wouldn't even like, based off the name or just, whatever because what I did was that I had to create like a questionnaire so that when you call me, I'm not necessarily asking questions about like, like directly, like, questions that may offend someone or that may, have someone be like, well, are you discriminated against my religion, my sex, my this, my that, right? So, but I do have like a, process where I'm asking you, like, what are you selling? Like, what products are you selling?
So you need to go right into detail so you don't wait. It doesn't waste your time and it doesn't waste their time.
Exactly. Immediately. So within that 30-minute of like my free consultation call, I'm asking you like so many questions to the point where you're like, okay, what is this, an interrogation? Because I need to know,
you have to make sure.
Right. So before you even send me the access to like your books and I'm able to like look at it, because that in itself takes time, and that's something that you should be, anyone should be charging for, because that in itself can take like a good hour, 2 hours just to dissect someone's books. And so if I know upfront like what it is that you're selling, what it is that what kind of business you have, how you're getting your money is one of the questions that I ask is, how do you get your money? How do you get paid? Where's your money coming from? Wow. Right? Like for example, so for example, around the corner, there's a computer guy. And I physically saw him with my own 2 eyes, take money from, like he told the guy, he said, oh, what do you have? Like he told the guy, basically like, well, how much money do you want to give me? Like, that's not how you do business. You either charge him a certain amount of money or you charge him or you don't charge him at all. So basically he told the guy, just give me what you have. And I'm like, no. And he didn't even give the guy a receipt. He told me he hasn't done his books and filed taxes in like 3 or 4 years. Oh. So there was a lot.
In that sense, would you communicate the importance of him,
I did. I sure did. We sat there. I told him to go ahead and send me his book because he wasn't necessarily doing anything, I guess. Yeah, it was illegal because he clearly wasn't like tracking the income that was coming in, right?
He wasn't claiming it exactly towards the government because he didn't want the government to know exactly how much he's making. So he can keep some of that money for himself. It happens over here a lot. It happens over here a lot. Not me now. No, look at me. I don't do that. So.
Right. Exactly. So he's charging people cash, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with charging people cash, but I didn't even see him write the person a receipt, So I discussed with them like the importance of like having that person write a receipt, even if it's $1, that's considered income. Even if somebody gives you 15 cents, that's considered income.
Exactly.
Uncle Sam does not care how you're getting your income. He doesn't care if you picked up $1 off the street while you're walking. That's income, according to Uncle Sam. So it doesn't matter. So I had to explain that to him. And then the other part was that when I was looking at his books, it didn't make any sense. It just did not make any sense. It wasn't adding up. I wasn't sure where the income was coming from. How was it being spent? So those are all red flags, and you just, the good thing with bookkeeping is that the money tells a story.
Exactly.
Like it
Absolutely.
tells you what's happening. It tells you how the person is spending.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But also pretty much because you have the opportunity, I think, with all of you, you have the opportunity to know where, what this, contradicts scripture. I can't work with this versus you've been doing it for 5 years, 10 years, not realizing you are contradicting the scripture the whole time. I don't know if it's, for most, but I think that's an advantage you all have, especially for yourself and Sister Mo, where Sister Mo is able to clearly see the person's Instagram before wanting to do business with the person. I mean, here you go, you have half naked women, alcohol popping here, worldly stuff there. And it's very easy to say, what, I can't promote this. I can't help you promote this. I can't work with you. In terms for yourself as a bookkeeper, strip club comes to you, say, yo, we make 300,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? We need some help. You feel me? I know in New York, you feel me? We need some help with this in New York. You know what I'm saying, son? You see me, son? Come on, son. So maybe, but now you're able to kind of see, look, I can't help you versus, because the thing is, and there could be people in truth who are involved in a business and don't realize until maybe later on it's contradicting scriptures. One thing that happened with myself, I don't know, have you all heard of network marketing?
Yep.
Yes.
Network. So pretty much it's network marketing, as they say. What people call it is a pyramid scheme, as most would say it is. So pretty much what happens is, it's a company, and you have the main person, and say the main person, they're your mentor. They talk to you, they communicate with you, show you how it goes, and your goal is not to sell ultimately the products, but to find other people who want to make it grow. And so every time the person, you could be like all the way down here, every time that person makes money, everybody above him makes money as well, which is why people call it as a pyramid scheme. I was in what was it called again? It was a network marketing company, a famous one. My days. It sold like certain medical or pharmaceutical products, and what was involved in it was makeup as well. Oh my days.
Pharmaceutical that deal with makeup.
No, it was makeup. They sold like some vitamins. They sold certain. Man, it's a big one. It's been around for years.
Now, Amway.
Amway, yeah. It was with Amway, and I met it, through a brother in the faith. He said, hey, there's network, explained it left and right, and there's ultimately nothing wrong with network marketing. It just depends the business you're involved with. So what happened was, going for the first thing that's kind of a red flag is they say, I have a business to tell you about, but I can't tell you about the business. Like, I'm like, that's what really happened. I can't tell you about it.
Started off.
Oh man.
No, I'm not even sure. We can't tell you about it. But I say, I trust the brother. I mean, it was really odd. And so I said, I'm still gonna give it. I'm gonna give the brother a chance. I'm gonna give it a chance. He said, but no, I can't tell you. So I met the mentor, this and that. Talk to them as well, and it was, they they're talking, but they just don't talk about this business. Like, they don't talk. It's like, you tell me you have this business opportunity, but you're not telling me about it. We can't tell you. And it was an Indian man, and he's saying, if we tell you what we tell you, you're going to go. Right. So we want to make sure that you are fixed mind. And I said, okay. But I still need to know, about this business. And so they give you a book to read, all this and that. And you're going to in events, and then you're learning, the people there's always going to be someone with their success stories in it, how they make 100 this and 200 that, how this person made 4 million this, 3 million that. And so pretty much within Amway is, you may have the choice to kind of know what you want to sell, but where it comes is that it doesn't have to initially be somebody in the faith that you get. So I just may recruit a sinner. That sinner may have no problem with selling that makeup. So now what happened? And makeup is $1 billion billion, not million, $1 billion industry. So meaning what happens, like, say that person is making like most of their money through makeup, I'm making money from that makeup as well. So when I realized how that, business function went, I said, whoa, I can't do this no more. I can no longer do it. I told the person like I'm done, but still, despite it all, they still message, they still, hey, is everything wrong? I can help it out, blah, blah, so it was really, there's sometimes, and who knows, it could be someone that just comes in the faith that gets involved in the business and they've been doing it for 10 years, 15 years, not realizing. But I think, being in truth for 10, 15 years, they have to know. They have to know, because PJ speaks about makeup, vividly. It's not like he hides what he's trying to say about it, so it's something you'd have to know. One question I have for each and every one of you. Of course, you face all these difficulties being in truth, and with all of this, but in terms of, giving up, is there times you ever feel like, man, you know what, not giving up being an entrepreneur really, but giving up on an expertise because you find that these expertise that you want to do, man, I feel like there's it's not gonna be possible to make as much money as I want to, so I might as well just, call it quits, follow the teachings and go on. Do you ever, come to that point? And if you do, what do you do to remain as an entrepreneur?
Good question, man. I say for myself, I mean, me personally, you got to really love what you do. Mm-hmm. Even to the point where, like I said, and then also you got to adjust. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of things that may happen that may affect your business, like even with me and my wife's business, we used to go to the office. Now everything is via Zoom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's pros and there's cons, because you got some people that want to see, like, if you want to talk to somebody and this, that, and the other, you want to bring them to the office, because most people want to see brick and mortar. Yeah. You know what I mean? If they don't see that you have that, they'll be like, well, what kind of business you do and you don't have an office or this and the other? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, but now with this pandemic going around, nobody goes to the office anymore. You know what I mean? So, and then the pro is that I can step into any state and do business now. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be just, as long as I'm licensed in that state, or if I want to recruit somebody to be a financial agent, you know what I'm saying? I can step into any state of the United States and recruit somebody to do what I do. Okay. So as far as me, some days, when you have them days where you like, man, I don't like doing this no more, this and the other. But I mean, I look at my family, especially when I was early in it. Sometimes when you're early and you get that, you running, and as you get older, you're like, shoo, I gotta start slowing down a little bit, what I mean? But because it's a marathon, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, especially with when it comes to financial services, not too many people want to give you their business. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe they're embarrassed, you know what I'm saying, about what you may see about, because they may portray a certain way of lifestyle. And then when you actually see their finances, pretty much catfish. Yeah, it doesn't. The paperwork doesn't fit the outer what you be portraying, and so but me, I have to stay professional, in reference to it. I'm like, look, man, hey, but then I gotta also tell them, all right, well, you're hanging your hat higher than you can reach it. You need to bring your hat a little lower. Get rid of some of these expenses that you have. You know what I'm saying? Some people want to hear that, some people don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Exactly. But that's not going to stop me from doing what I need to do. And then, like I said before, you always just try to, keep God first. And, I fall on him when I have those kind of days, I just fall on him. Wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Tell him, to strengthen me to get me through it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Anybody else has an input? It's almost past Sister Mo's bedtime, so
Not coming for me.
It's past Danny's bedtime too.
I be up at like 7, 8:30 in the morning.
Oh yeah, I can tell you probably yawn at least, I don't know if it's 10 times per minute. My
I'm so sorry. Y'all not boring. Y'all stories are amazing. I'm just like,
I understand, I understand. But no, so anybody had, in terms of, for the question, is it the times you feel like just giving up, being, so many of those restrictions and what you can and can't do because being in the faith, do you feel like giving up your businesses, so, I don't know who else had anything else to say about it, but do any of you ever feel like you want to give up?
I mean, like, I don't think it's necessarily because of my beliefs. I mean, it does get exhausting, like having to like explain my beliefs or like why I can't post certain things sometimes. But I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest, like ever since I started being like an entrepreneur in the online sense, like as an online marketer, I actually got like less of having to explain my beliefs because it's just kind of like people just kind of find you, and if it's a good fit, it's a good fit. They don't really like challenge you or anything like as they would like if you're in the workplace or something like that. I'd be like, why you wear skirts all the time, or why can't you come to Christmas parties? And like you don't really get that online because it's like you're building up your own business. But I do suffer like burnout a lot. And where I'm just like, I can't work on my business today. Like I'm tired. There'll be a period of time where I can't answer like emails, or I can't answer like text messages until like, a certain point, because I'll go crazy. And it's like, some days I wake up and I'm just like, I wish I just had a team like that could like, keep pushing my business forward. And like if I want to take a step away from the business, it's not going to crash and burn. And so like until that happens, I'm just like, I gotta keep going. So it gets very tiring. I am blessed to have at least one contractor that's like helping me with graphics and things like that. But yeah, like I just, pray and hope soon like that business picks up a little bit more so I can actually hire more people. And definitely, because like one thing I did learn about being like an entrepreneur is like when you start your business out, you think like, oh, no one can do everything, as well as I can. But like certain people are really specialized in different areas that like entrepreneurs need. So like, for example, like some like people come to me to help them with their social media because they know that I do it as well or better than they do, because that's like my specialized area. And so like when you're able to outsource different tasks like email, customer support, graphics, launching people like to help you launch your products and services, like they've been trained to do that. And so it's like, let them have that gift to be able to practice their gift while you focus on the vision of your business. And so I really want to get to that point. So that's just kind of something that I struggle with.
Okay. Well, hopefully, you don't burn out forever within that business,
I'll just be yawning like, oh.
Well, what about for yourselves, the Haitian sisters, the one with the cup almost same size as her heads, and the sauce cure, the surgeon for the sauces?
Well, as for me, I've gotten really tired where sometimes I don't want to say that I wanted to give up on the business, but sometimes I considered postponing it and doing it at a later time because there were times where I do get the burnout similar to Sister Mo, because I'm juggling running a business and running a household. I have children, so sometimes my priority, especially when I first started running my business, my priorities were just everywhere because I wasn't used to juggling both, meaning running a business and running a household, taking care of children, being a wife, and so on and so forth. So those were some challenges. And sometimes it got really difficult, and I doubted myself whether I was able to really do this. And was I able to do both at the same time? So with that being said, there were times I felt like, you know what, maybe when my kids are older, and they're able to take care of themselves, they're not so dependent on me, then I can pick up and work on perfect blends. But talking to other people, they felt like, you know what, you should be able to handle both. Just get your priorities straight. Make sure you take care of your family first, you take care of that first, and then you work a little bit on in your business. And how I ended up doing that was very similar to Mo. Like Mo said, is that finding other people to help me, building a team, because I was wearing all these hats running the business. I was making the sauces, purchasing, doing events. I was, doing the finances, doing I was just doing a whole lot, and I was getting burnt out. I was tired, and I wasn't specialized in all of this. I just wanted to enjoy making the sauces. But in the beginning stages of as an entrepreneur, you do end up wearing a lot of hats. But what really helped me out was pretty much outsourcing the different parts of running a business. So, I got a social media strategist. I have help with the bookkeeper and so on and so forth, and just a lot of other people that are able to help me kind of keep things in place so I don't get so burnt out and want to give up.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. I mean, for myself, I always say mistakes, failures. I won't say failure, but mistakes. It's always a lesson learned. And when I had my cleaning business at first, one of the biggest mistakes is I hired way too early. I was ready for that. I finished, getting reading for a finance book. I have my business. Nah, man, my focus was just to hire, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to feel like that guy, you have to be a big boss. And it didn't cost me, but it was like, it was so early to the point where, the business could have made even more, to the point. But now it's, what I've learned is, in terms of what I do now, it's, I leave that leeway for when I hire, people. I mean, I have one person that works for me now, for tutoring. It's a high school student, very humble, girl and everything. And she understands what needs to be done and stuff. But what I've learned is, I put it as the more, like, I pretty much, I made it differently, because I'm telling you, holding all those hats, it will get stressful. It will get stressful, and it's like, you're almost, you're up very early, you're going to bed very late, and it's tough to deal with that. And you can't be everywhere at one time,
That's correct.
so it's one of the things I realize is, not only am I just, helping out, these students in high school, but let me see if I can work with them as well. And if they're serious, if they want to, and if they're hungry, and their parents are okay with it, then, I'm good to go for it. So, but I definitely understand what you mean, by having all those hats on. Like, I mean, when I had the cleaning business, maybe average per night, I was probably getting, or not even night, I probably get 4 hours of sleep, maybe 4 hours of sleep, because I was at every single place, right? And then, but when I started hiring, it was more easier for myself, so, but yeah, those were a bit of my experiences. I don't know if Sister Merlene is still there. I don't know, Sister Merlene, are you still there, Sister Merlene? Test one, test two.
Testing.
You probably eating a bowl of rice. That's what it is. Oh, she not eating. Okay. Just to let y'all know, for Haitians, if they say they don't eat rice, there's a big problem now. There's a big problem. Maybe she had to go off camera to take, a little. Fix something.
Not today.
Hey, but for yourself, sister, are the times you feel like, giving up, in this business, because, being in the faith, there's just, there's a lot of restrictions and stuff. Are the times you just feel like giving up on your business and saying, you know what, it's just not for me?
Yeah, for me, it's not even so much of the faith, because like I said, I definitely take time to make sure I vent out the people that I would work with. So anytime there's like a red flag, I would automatically send you a little email that I already have typed up saying, at this time, I do not have, I guess the bandwidth or the, the whatever to work with you. I mean, if it's somebody that, and I'll tell them, go, you can go on this XYZ website or place or whatever to try to see if you can find like another like bookkeeper that you can work with. But I haven't had too many of those, like, you know, those type of like clients that come through, maybe like 2 the most. But as far as like giving up, like it's a constant thing, you know, it is constant because it's not easy, you know, between like the social media, having a like a toddler to care for, working a 9 to 5, and just you know, and then like with bookkeeping, the bookkeeping itself, that's not that's not what brings in the income. It's the, like, there's like other services that brings in, you know, the majority of the income. So like preparing taxes, being like a CFO for somebody's company. And so right now I'm in the process of like trying to get all these different certificates, and I feel like I need to get them as soon as possible so I can start providing all these different services. So that's like really consuming a lot of my time. So with that being said, it definitely can cause some burnout, because, you know, you're trying to study, you're trying to get the certificates, you know, you're trying to post on social media. And Sister Mo is really good at, like, you know, encouraging me and pushing me forward and telling me to post. And that can, you know, it just could be a little bit overwhelming sometimes. And I think that part of it can cause you to go like, okay, is this really something that I want to do? And especially if you don't have like the funds to hire somebody else, you know, to do these things for you.
Exactly.
You don't have a choice but to do it yourself, you know. So, but that's the beginning stages, right, of having your own business. That's the price you pay. You wear many hats, like Sister Tamara said. So
no, I mean,
that's what we're right now.
It's a difficult thing.
Well, that was a good thing as far as like with having a partner. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife are partners in this business. So that's the good thing about it, you know, wherein that, because I still work full time also. So a lot of things that, you know, she handles, you know, on that side while I'm at work, she handles pretty much, you know what I mean? So that's the good thing about having an apartment. And I don't have to pay her. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Hey! I mean, but listen, hey, I don't have to pay her per se, but you know, when the money comes in.
No, for sure, I get it. No, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because not everybody is able to have that type of luxury. You know, people, it's like relatives, like, look, man, I'm willing to help, but you gotta pay up. Not everybody's willing to, you know, put that help. So it is wonderful that, you know, she's able to get certain things done for free, you know. So it's because I know not everybody has that type of luxury, you know. But I like how you had to, you know, soften it and sweeten it up, you know, and it's free. I see you learning. Sherry doo-doo. Hey,
man, that's right, brother. Hey, man, listen.
Oh, man. No, but guys, this was a wonderful time. This was, you know, very educational. I've learned a lot more so from this business. I've learned so much. You know, I don't know if Sister Mo is probably snoring right now. Maybe that's why the camera's off and stuff like that. As we passed her bedtime and all, you know. So, but
she done tapped out.
That was it. You know, after bedtime, she gone. You know, but
Danny about to tap out too.
As soon as that woman get on the couch right now, that's it. The elbow right there, the leg. Oh my! I'm not sleeping. I'm good. I'm up. My days. But no, you know, that pretty much concludes for today. You know, I've learned a lot. I hope you watching, you've learned a lot as well. These are some, you know, like I said, it's tough.
We're getting old. We can't keep up.
Well, no, exactly. You know, I mean, it's like, do I see it? You know, in terms of myself, there's always challenges, you know, and difficulties I face on a regular basis. But I think one of the most common challenges is just, you know, so you just want to have to, you know, explain certain things over and over to different people. It's like, oh, but how come you don't do this? You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of say, sometimes I just, you know, just not answer. Like one kid, he asked, hey, coach, do you celebrate Christmas? I said, no, I don't celebrate that. And with that, he said, oh, yeah, right. I mean, Santa is fake anyways, you know? And so in terms of another one where I was gifted a Christmas gift, and I was like, oh, I can't take this. Huh? No, I can't take it. You know, I don't celebrate Christmas. We don't give gifts. We don't take gifts. Hanukkah? No, I can't take it. It was, you know, something was going with it. I said, I just cannot take it. I can't, you know, so it's those, you know, certain challenges like that you face. But another thing as well is In the future, I want to provide, some uniforms and a clothing line as well. It's easy for the boys, but it's not easy when it comes to the girls. Like to find, girl skirts today, it's very tough. Like everything is jeans or pants or whatever the case is, And so now it's like, if, you have girls in your program and, they're receiving their uniform and they see a skirt, they're gonna be like, what's this? What's this, brother? How come, the boys get shorts, but the girls get a skirt, So there's going to be that to kind of explain. But, at the end of the day, with, the challenges I face, as Brother Tyshonn said, you got to love what you do. And I'm fortunate enough to not only be skillful at what I do, but to love what I do as well. I've always had a passion for dealing with youth because I feel like it's always been an ignored generation for so long, and whenever it came for any type of assistance or help or just proper conduct, nobody was really there to show them. But when it comes to you could give them 5 rap songs, even 10 rap songs, and they could remember every single lyric of that song, but once it comes to just learning anything in terms of finances, they start scratching their head, or it's a whole different story and whatever the place is. But that concludes for today. I really enjoyed myself. I hope you all enjoyed yourself as well. I'm just going to leave off, so Brother Tyshonn, I don't know if you can leave off for where people can follow you. Oh, now she came back. You see, Sister Merlin, she she's like, oh, this is the part I gotta put for this, but no, Brother Tyshonn, and each and every one of you, explaining what it is, where people can follow you, how people can contact you, and where you do your services.
You can contact me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, the Tyshonn Williams. Also, I'm on Instagram, Tyman1914. On Instagram, and also you can find me on email. You can email me, Tyshonn, TYSHONNW@gmail.com.
No, I'll definitely make sure to include everything in the description of the video as well.
Okay.
So thank you for that. Is it, Sister Mo, where can people find you?
So you can come say hi over to me at Instagram on @_prettyniquey. So PRETTYNIQUEY. Also, if you search the Warrior Rulebook podcast in Google, you'll find it on Anchor. So you can come say hi to me over there too. Listen in. And I'm on Facebook at Pretty Niquey as well.
Pretty Nikki, guys, huh? But she could sleep as well. She could yawn too. My days.
Yes.
No, well, definitely I'll get that in the description as well. Sister, Mrs. I don't know if I should say perfect blends or surgeons, because you're a surgeon to these families with bland chicken. You know what I mean? You're a surgeon to it. Right? Like people, I hope somebody's watching and saying, hey, honey, there's these sauces. It's called Perfect Blends. We don't have to have the dry chicken no more, kids. Come on, it's a celebration. Come on. You just never know. So I don't know if I should say surgeon or whatever the case is, but where can we find you, Perfect Blends? Where can we find you?
You can find us on Facebook at My Perfect Blends. Also on Instagram under Perfect Blends. Also, you can check out our website if you'd like to order some sauces. It's www.myperfectblends.com.
Wonderful. And can people from Canada order as well, or is it just better if it's in the States?
Right now I'm just doing the States. I'm not doing international yet.
International. Okay. So hopefully guys, maybe we could try to work something out. Maybe I could try to buy something in bulk. So cause some of you need some perfect blends. I've been to your houses and I had that chicken. My days, I'm not gonna forget. Some of you can use perfect blends now. Some of you can use it. Sundin is the food good. Now it's about to be some perfect blends. So we'll definitely get that in the description as well. A bookkeeping company, Sister Merlin King. Where can we find you and locate you?
So you guys can find me at Bookkeepingcoachllc. That's for both Instagram and Facebook. Okay. And for the email, you can always email hello@bookkeepingcoach.com.
Perfect. All right. Well, and as for myself, Those of you, you can follow the I Thrive podcast. Please subscribe. Some of you, you're sending me message that you like the podcast, you love it, you enjoy it, but you're not liking it and you're not subscribing. It helps when you do these things, because when you do these things in the future, it will become a lot and it could create passive income, the income when I'm sleeping and making. So I help my brother out instead of just telling him congratulations and like and subscribe and share. My days, my days. You know, so also go on
He's right.
That's
right,
right.
as well for the Royal Rubo podcast, you know, subscribe. And for everybody else, I know Perfect Blends has hopefully upcoming more YouTube channels, so subscribe to that as well. But yeah, you know, subscribe, like, leave a comment, share with your friends. You can go on JOUER.ca. The services, online or virtual, it can be offered on an international basis. Right now, mainly it's offered in the Greater Toronto area for one-on-one, you know, a physical relation, but anything virtual right now, I can go via Zoom. Also, tune in if some of you are looking for true teaching. If you're looking, I know you're probably searching, you're scratching your head. You probably go to a false church every single Sunday, wondering why you go there. You're probably it's Monday, and you know by Monday you have to go back to that church on Sunday, and you know that man ain't preaching nothing. You know it's nothing. So you need proper teaching. If you're looking for a church, it's called First Church of our Lord Jesus Christ. First Church of our Lord Jesus Christ. No, they did not pay me to say this or nothing. I will always say this for free. So this is not paid, in case some of you are wondering, but it's First Church of our Lord Jesus Christ, where the leader, teacher, and guide is Apostle Gino Jennings. If you're wondering if I believe every single word he says, you got that right. I believe in everything he says. So if you're really looking for a church, this is serious. I'm so serious now. You're looking at this on, this is not no other TD Jakes, and this is not no other Creflo, this and that and blah blah blah. He's not gonna teeth you. He's gonna come. You're gonna be hurt. I'll be honest. You're gonna be hurt. You're gonna be hurt. You may cry. You may throw something at the wall. You may, it may do some stuff to you, but it's good for your soul. All right. So other than that, nothing much else for me to promo. Follow I Thrive Podcast on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, Je veux jouer CA, short for Canada, on Instagram as well. You can follow me on Facebook, I Thrive Podcast. I don't have a personal Instagram. Just follow me on the I Thrive Podcast, and we can go from there. And in case you're wondering, no, I'm not a model. But hey, no, you know, some of you are wondering, does he model? If you got a couple of suits I may put on, why not? Why not? That concludes, everybody. You take care now. This was the I Thrive Podcast. You all have yourselves a wonderful weekend. God bless you all. Stay safe and leave your false church. Remember, First Church of our Lord and Savior Jesus, First Church of our Lord Jesus Christ. The people repenting and going in for baptisms. All the information is on the website at truthofgod.com. Please, I'm telling you, this is for your good. On a serious note, I'm telling you right now, First Church of our Lord Jesus Christ, leader, teacher, and guide, Apostle, Pastor Gino Jennings. You have yourself a wonderful one. Take care. God bless. And peace be. Come on, everybody. Say bye. Say bye.
Good night, everybody.